Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rajkumar Dureraj representing PMS Bazaar. I'm the host for this webinar. Firstly, I would like to thank all our investors, partners, and other participants from all over the world for their overwhelming response to our event PMS and AF Summit 4.0. And I'm happy to announce our strategic partner Paytm Money and PMS ranking competition powered by Crisil. I welcome you all for another insightful webinar organized by PMS Bazaar. And I also welcome all the viewers from our strategic partner Paytm Money platform. Thank you for taking your time and joining us. Today, we have a presentation on the topic Global to Local Opportunity through PMS. And to present this insightful topic, we have Mr. Mayur Shah, who is the Deputy Vice President and Portfolio Manager at Anand Rathi Advisors Limited. Mayur, I welcome you to the show. To give a small and brief introduction about Mr. Mayur Shah, he is heading the PMS department and he is also the fund manager for discretionary PMS run in Anand Rathi. He carries more than 16 years of rich experience in investment advisory, product development, and portfolio management. He is working with Anand Rathi since 2007 across portfolio management and private client group equity advisory. He started his career with Kotak Securities Limited in 2005 as an investment advisor, subsequently got into developing equity products and running the same. He is a postgraduate MBA in Finance from Mumbai University and also CFP certified. Context of the webinar. What we can expect from this webinar is investing in global conglomerate listed in India, hidden investment potential in mid and small cap, understanding risk adjusted return, economies going through industrial revolution and transformational changes in key sectors, and how the investors can benefit from the same. Post this presentation from Mayur, we will have a Q&A session for a few minutes. Over to you, Mr. Mayur.
Thank you, Rajkumar, and good evening to all the participants. Thanks for joining, and I hope this session would be very much insightful for you, and you can make a fruitful decision for your further investment. And as the topic that we are going to speak about right now is how we can take the benefit of this global to local. That is the move that we are seeing right now. And you must be aware also the Modi government, where the vision is very clear that we want to be a $5 trillion kind of an economy, and maybe by a decade down the line, we might be much more on a higher side. And we want to see India as a global supply partner. And everything is now coming to India. We want to make in India and we want to supply from India. So that is the drive which is going on. However, when we come to the investments, there are different investment products which are available in the market. In PMS also, there are multiple PMS offering which is available at this point of time. And definitely not all the investors have the same kind of an objective. Some are aggressive, some are on the conservative side. So definitely it makes very much important for you as an investor to try and understand the philosophy first about the investment products. And if that philosophy suits you very well, then definitely that product can do wonders for you. So coming into Anand Rathi also, we have been managing PMS for our set of clients. We have successfully managed 2 portfolios, that is MNC PMS as well as Impress portfolio over the last 4 years period. And we have also launched recently a new portfolio called Decennium Opportunity. So definitely we are going to speak about all the 3 portfolios. Post the session, definitely we can go for a Q&A session. I would request all of you, whatever doubts, queries you must be having, you just keep it noted. You can write it in the Q&A session and I will be happy to address one by one. I'm just sharing my screen in front of you right now where we see that global to local, the opportunity that is coming in front of us.
Yeah.
So this is a MNC portfolio, multinational companies portfolio. It's one of the flagship product from Anand Rathi Group. And when I come to MNC portfolio, many times people do get in a thought process that are you going to invest into global equities, companies like Facebook, Amazon or Google? No. We are pretty much focused on Indian consumption story. So that is why the tagline was from global to local. These are all the global conglomerates who have came to India looking at the opportunity which Indian market is providing to them. They have started business in India and they are doing wonders in Indian market at this point of time. So I'm speaking about the companies which are listed in India. but owned and promoted by foreign player. Take an example, maybe Hindustan Unilever. Unilever is a foreign promoter over here. Nestle, Bata, ABB, Siemens, Grindwell Norton. Multiple set of companies are there. I can say close to around 90 odd companies are there with a decent size and business that they are doing in Indian market. And that is our universe where we are focusing upon. And one thing is sure, we are not going away from India consumption story. All these companies are having their manufacturing setup also in India. Their end user market is also mostly in India. Except for a couple of IT companies, it's purely, I can say, Indian consumption theme that we are focusing when we are choosing MNC portfolio. Now, why this particular theme and why not having a complete diversified portfolio? So that is where the clear-cut picture of the objective and philosophy comes into mind. This portfolio was designed keeping in mind the objective very clear. We want to have a portfolio with a linear return, slow and steady, but a consistent return, a product which could have the least of the volatility among all the equity products which are there in the market. And we'll share you some screen also where it can clearly justify like the volatility factor is even lower than the Nifty. But this MNC companies by default comes with many advantage. These are tried and tested business model, multi-decade experience these companies are having. They're quite innovative. They spend a lot of money on their R&D. Technology-wise, they are much more advanced. And brand recall value is quite strong. The bargaining value of the brand is also quite strong. And that is where these companies gain advantage, and investor also have a lot of confidence in these business model. These are not like fly-by-night kind of a business model. Second advantage is in terms of corporate governance standard. Very rarely we have found any kind of mismanagement or fraud kind of incidents with these multinational companies which are doing business in India. These are more like an institutional business run by professionals, very well laid out rules, guidelines. Their ethic values are also quite strong, complete transparency, and they would not indulge into any practice which can impact their global brand image. So investor again has a lot of trust in this business model. The money would not be lost. Like यहाँ पे पैसा खोने की possibility कम से कम है. You at least the money is much more safer. Third advantage is in terms of balance sheet. Most of the MNC companies are low debt company or zero debt company. Focus is always on the cash flow. If the business are not generating enough cash flow, if the margins are not that good, they would be coming out from those particular business and would be focusing clearly on the business which are margin accretive and cash flows are on the positive side. And this is also very much important because this helps the company to sustain in any kind of a challenging environment that comes in front of them. So this is also, these are some key advantage these multinational companies are having. Definitely many of you must be already aware about this and you must have experience also. This is one analysis that we have done before starting this particular PMS. It has completed more than 4 years, this PMS. We have started in March 2018. But prior to that, we had done an analysis how we have Nifty index on similar line. We also have Nifty MNC index, which is being managed on NSE platform. And the last 15 years has proven that Nifty MNC index has been able to deliver better return than Nifty index. And in the same last 15 years, the annual volatility of Nifty MNC index is lower compared to Nifty index. So it's a clear-cut a win-win scenario over here, a philosophy or a basket of stock which has a tendency that yes, we can give better return than Nifty also. And at the same side, the volatility factor, the risk factor is even lower than the Nifty. And our objective is like we want to beat both the indices. That is, we want to beat even Nifty MNC index as well as Nifty 50 index. And this is what we have been doing successfully over the last 4 years. As far as the strategy goes, it's a multi-cap strategy. We are investing into large cap, mid cap, and small cap. And this is the USP of this product because many times the mid caps and small caps that we are talking about with the MNC label, these companies are called mid cap and small cap in Indian market because of their size and business they are doing in India. But when I look at their global businesses, I know they are pretty much a large cap kind of a company from a global definition. So technically, when I look at my portfolio from a quality perspective, it is as good as large cap. But from a growth perspective, this portfolio is acting like a multi-cap strategy. And this is what this portfolio has been able to deliver the growth as far as the multi-cap strategy goes. This is the allocation at this point of time. We have given the top 10 stock: Grindwell Norton, KSB, SKF India, Blue Dart, Coforge, Honeywell, Siemens, Maruti, Lever, Emphasis. Sectorally also, it's a very well diversified portfolio at this point of time. We have given the large cap, mid cap, and small cap allocation, and you can see the average market capitalization also. It's a fairly decent market cap. 18 stocks are there at this point of time in the portfolio, and this is the performance so far as on 30th November 2021. Slow and steady, but the consistent, I can say, in a consistent manner, the portfolio has been delivering returns. Last 3 years CAGR is almost 20.3% CAGR. And this is also what we believe going forward, also 15 to 20% is easily achievable from this kind of a portfolio, which has the lowest possible volatility among all equity products. Just to give you one example of the maximum drawdown that we had seen in the past, in March 2020, when there was a COVID correction, in a single month, Nifty was down by 24%, mid cap index was down more than 30%, small cap was down more than 40%. But this portfolio had shown a lot of resilience. It was only down. The MNC PMS from Anand Rathi was just down by 14%. So that kind of, I can say, resilience the portfolio has seen. Most of the stocks are on their own, slow and steady, but they are delivering fantastic return, I can say. And the growth opportunity is also equally good in this portfolio. Although it might look little defensive because of the quality of stock, the stocks which are on the large cap side, you might feel they are much more defensive. But yes, there is enough room, or I can say juice in the portfolio. There are many cyclical and industrial companies which are part of this particular portfolio, which always helps us to deliver an additional alpha if we time those cyclicals very well. There are many mid caps and small cap companies, B2B business model kind of a companies, which are also delivering us phenomenal return. Just to name a few in the past, GMM Pfaudler, KSB Limited, Grindwell Norton, Coforge, all these are mid and small cap companies, but with an MNC label, they have been able to deliver us fantastic return. So these companies, when we are holding, the perspective is clearly from a long-term horizon. We are having very low churn ratio in this portfolio. Only 28% of the turnover is we have seen in the last 3 years, and that is the average annual turnover ratio. What we do regular profit booking, partial profit booking in the companies wherever we see the single stock allocation has reached to 9 or 10%, and we bring it back to 6-7%, so that the portfolio is always diversified throughout the journey of the investment, and any new client who is also entering into the system will get a very well diversified portfolio at any given point of time. So this is one of the portfolio which with a moderate to conservative risk reward style. But when we look at the other products which are available in the market, I can definitely say this product stands out when it comes to the better risk adjusted return. Because returns, every product would be delivering returns. Last 1 year, many products, even our own other PMSs has delivered very good return in last 1 year with 70%, 80%. But how much consistent they were in the past period also. In the last 3 years back, 2 years back, what was their performance? How much resilience they have shown while going down or during the correction time. So that is where the advantage of these multinational companies comes into, where slow and steady but a consistent performer, which are there, a linear return with a better risk adjusted. So keeping the risk factor lower, still able to deliver 15-20% plus kind of a CAGR from this kind of a portfolio. These are some of the success stories about India. GMM Pfaudler, Coforge, at what price we have bought and at what price we have done partial profit booking, we are still holding. So this is one portfolio what we think should be part of everyone's asset allocation, that is multinational companies portfolio. Like you are keeping money into debt, you are keeping money into equity. It's almost like a debt plus kind of a portfolio which will never disappoint you. Coming to now the different set of portfolio within Anand Rathi Group. MNC is definitely a strong, solid, I can say a resilient kind of a portfolio. But still, as an investor, you might be looking for some aggressive return also. A certain portion of money, along with conservative, you like to go for a little aggressive, like you are already doing between debt and equity. That is where the advantage of this second portfolio that is called Impress portfolio. That is, this is a portfolio which is more like a multi-cap style. Almost 75 to 80% of the money is invested into mid caps and small caps. However, we are not going in a companies with less than 1,000 crore market cap. So these mid caps and small caps are very well covered, very well researched and tracked in the market. And we see a lot of potential in these companies that they can, yes, get into the next level of their market capitalization. As far as the strategy goes in this Impress portfolio, which is a multi-cap portfolio, almost two-thirds of my money, that is almost 65% of the money, goes for a growth-oriented stocks, companies which are doing good, they are consistently performing and going forward also likely to maintain the same performance. One-third of the money we definitely go for a contrarian call or a contra approach, which adds a kicker or for this particular portfolio. In terms of investment process, definitely different fund houses, fund managers have different way of identifying the stock. We are more of a bottom up approach when it comes to selecting process for this particular portfolio. Almost right now 800 stocks are there with 2,000 crore plus kind of a market capitalization. But frankly speaking, be it any fund manager, there are four key parameters that everyone looks at. That is the past, the present, the future, and the last is the corporate governance. So in the past, we try to identify what kind of wealth creation this company has done for its shareholders, what kind of sales that the business has grown, what kind of margin improvement these companies have seen, how the working capital is getting managed, what kind of asset turnover these companies are having, what kind of return ratio this company has delivered in the past. It gives us a good managed business model, like these companies are creating wealth for the shareholders and it's also very well managed business. Then it comes to the present. At present, what is the current strategy of that particular business? What is the balance sheet showing at present? What kind of leverage ratio, gearing ratio, what kind of gross block where we are standing, what kind of future value addition is likely to be seen, whether any shock, if it comes in between, whether the current balance sheet is in a position to absorb all those shocks or the challenging environment. So that is the present scenario, and next it comes to the future. For the future, what kind of earnings visibility these companies are showing, what kind of capex activity, multi-year contracts or deal wins or order wins these companies are having, or what kind of gross block these companies have added in order to meet the demand which is likely to come in future. So there are many parameters we look from a futuristic approach. And finally, it comes down to the corporate governance, the last parameter, that is a subjective matter. We're just trying to analyze whether the management quality is sound enough to be with for the longer term perspective. These are the holdings in this particular portfolio: Solar Industries, Radico, KPR Mills, Carborundum, Ratnamani Metals. A very well diversified portfolio over here also, sectorally as well as the market cap wise also. 19 stocks are there in this portfolio too. In both the portfolio MNC and Impress, we are not crossing more than 20 stocks. That is the maximum limit that we are having in this portfolio. This is the strategy. You can see very well the average market capitalization is fairly decent. We are not going into micro cap or tiny cap. These are very well researched companies which are there. And this is the earnings estimate growth for the next 2 years for FY23. That is almost 34%. Basket as a whole. So entire basket, when I put together the consensus earning estimates that we have got it from Bloomberg, that is close to around 34%. So definitely, if the earnings are likely to move on the higher side, so does the share price also will move in tandem, and accordingly try to meet the return objective that we have set in this portfolio. This is the performance so far. Slow and steady, but I can say this portfolio, little being on the aggressive side, it has justified the performance. Last 1 year is 60% plus return. Even last 1 month also in the November, we have already started seeing a lot of volatility, but still the portfolio has managed to stay afloat on the higher side. Last 2 years CAGR is also 46.6%, and last 3 years is also 23.7% return. So looking at the current juncture of the market, this is also one portfolio along with MNC, additional flow of money into an Impress kind of a portfolio, which is a multi-cap style portfolio with lot of potential to grow at a much faster rate, definitely can be an added advantage from a long-term perspective. Strategy remains the same. Partial profit booking here also we are doing. Here also we are on a long-term side. We are not keeping any target or stop loss for any of the company till the time going it's good. till the numbers are coming as per our expectation, we would like to stay invested with these set of companies. These are some of the success stories. Deepak Nitrite, Bajaj Finance, Aarti Drugs, Aarti Industries, many such success stories in the past which has able to deliver us very good performance for our clients through this particular portfolio. So these are the two portfolios which is already being in running, which is doing pretty good right at this point of time, which is I can say a slow, steady portfolios at this current juncture. Let me share you with one more new opportunity looking at the current setup where India is standing at this particular point of time. I'm sharing you one of the new concept, the new PMS that we have initiated, that is called the Decennium opportunity. Okay. So as you know, like India is going through a transformational change at this point of time. Many sectors, many industries are witnessing, I can say, an industrial revolution at this particular point of time. And this is where the India is going to take a leap forward in the global market. And that is also the vision that Indian government is carrying, that we want to see India being a global supply partner for the entire globe. China plus one kind of a strategy has really helped during this COVID times to get the momentum at a much faster pace. And this is where we are seeing a big opportunity going forward. The word decennium means a decade. It's a decade full of opportunity. The going forward, the next decade that we are looking at, what big momentum or the big growth opportunities coming as an equity investor in front of you. So focus is clearly on having a multi-cap kind of a strategy, focusing on emerging business. That is one part of the story. And the second part of the story, the second strategy is about the business upcycle. Let me give you the clarity, the two strategy, that is the industrial revolution, which is going to have 50% of the allocation, and the business cycle, which is also going to have 50% of the allocation. So in this industrial revolution, just to name a couple of sectors, electric vehicle, a transformational change we are seeing from ICE, that is a combustion engine, to EVs. Along with OEMs, there are many companies working on their infrastructure for the EVs, which are going to get benefit. Robotics, artificial intelligence, industrial automation has gained momentum after this COVID. If there are no labors, if there are shortage of labor, then yes, the automation can take forward the business and at least be more efficient enough. And along with this artificial intelligence, the business could be more customized. The more and more we are moving to the customization zone in this industrial revolution. Clean and green energy, when we look at, government is having a target of having zero carbon by 2060. Many companies have already started venturing into this renewable source of energy, be it wind, be it solar, be it hydrogen. There are different ways that people are now willing to participate and to have this renewable source of energy, and government is also giving lot of trust and incentives to establish these set of companies. E-commerce, digital aggregators which are there, we have seen I can say a massive, I can say, transformation in way the consumer behavior is acting nowadays. Many things have already started coming online, and lot of digital aggregators are already available. We are also now right now speaking through this one of kind of a platform which is also having a being a digital aggregator and providing financial services. There is also another segment that is defense and communication technology. So likewise, there are many sectors which are going for some transformational changes in India at this point of time. And this is what we want to capture. Just to name a few, like in telecom, in auto, in energy, in IT, in healthcare, media, manufacturing, you can just see where we are moving from, where we were standing and where we are moving over the last 5 years, and where we are going to go in the next 10 years also. So this is where the transition is happening in multiple segments, multiple sectors. Lot of things are improving, and these are the sectors which are going to give us lot of opportunity. Whosoever business models they are adapting to the changing business environment would be coming out as a winner, and that is what we are trying to capture in this particular portfolio. We have seen how China has did. From 2000 till 2008, China had grown at a much faster pace compared to Indian market. And even after 2008, there are certain new age economy stock which has delivered very good return for the Chinese economy. So we had done one statistical analysis, the indices, the benchmark indices, how we have Nifty and Sensex. In China, we have this Shanghai and Shenzhen. But along with that, there is one more index, that is CSI Market Grader China New Economy Index. And you can see, even if the economy is not performing, but these new age sector, this new age company with the completely disruptive kind of a thing, they have grown much faster. So this is where the opportunity is lying. The 50% of money is going in that kind of a business model and opportunity. The second strategy that we are focusing on is the business upcycle. 50% of the money is going to go in this business upcycle. There are many segments, many sectors which are going through a consolidation phase, and after a long consolidation, now they are showing lot of strength that most consolidation is already happened. The number of players in the industry has also reduced, and now they are ready to go for the next business upcycle. So these are like a contra call for some sectors where after a long period of consolidation, things are moving in the right direction. Metals, we have already seen after almost 12 to 13 years of consolidation, they have started to moving on a higher side. Realty is another space. After demonetization, nothing was moving. GST also came, RERA also came. So a lot of disruption happened, but now the sector has consolidated and things are moving up in a much faster manner. Same way, when we look at a business upcycle, there are certain sectors which were already growing. Some segments, some sectors which were already growing, but now government is trying to push those sectors in a much harder way, that yes, we do have the capability, we can build up the capacity in those sectors and we can become a global supply partner. These are companies like electrical goods are there, consumer durables are there, chemicals are there, pharma, API kind of a business model is there, textiles are there, IT is there, different segment sectors where wherever government sees that yes, if we try to incentivize these particular segments and sectors, then yes, these sectors can do wonder for India, and the government would be able to achieve their $1 trillion kind of a vision. So this is the focus over here. Stock selection pretty much remains the same when it comes to our Impress portfolio on MNC. But yes, for this particular set of businesses that we are looking at, we are trying to look at least 20-25% of the businesses are supposed to come from this new age business or the startup, or the growth going forward. The growth which was there in the company at 15%, 20%, but now being incentivized, being promoted, and government is pushing very hard these companies, the growth rates are now going to go at 30% plus kind of a thing. So with a higher growth, little on the higher risk side, high growth comes with a high risk, but yes, there is enough growth opportunity going forward. If you are an investor from a 3 to 5 years plus kind of a perspective, ready to take some calculated risk from these kind of businesses, then definitely this can do wonders in terms of overall performance of your equity investment. As far as strategy goes, again, this portfolio is also a multi-cap style portfolio. We will be investing into large cap, mid cap, and small cap. We have just started building up the portfolio in the month of November itself. So we would not be able to showcase you the quality of stocks or the number of stocks which are there at this point of time. But definitely, this is one portfolio which can make sense with a higher growth in your overall equity investment. So I'm just stopping my screen share over here. So that is it from my side. I would now be happy to address all your queries and questions that you might be having with respect to all the three portfolios. I've spoken about MNC from being little conservative side. I've already spoken about one multi-cap portfolio, that is Impress portfolio, little on the aggressive side, and the next decade opportunity, that is the growth that we are looking at from the industrial revolution and the business upcycle. So yes, over to you, Rajkumar. Any questions if it is there from the participant?
Thank you, Mayur. Thank you for your in-detail insight about your products. And initially, we have some certain questions from PMS Bazaar client. I would like to ask first, and we'll take it from the panel also. Like, yeah. First question: why MNC when other funds are giving similar performance?
Okay, definitely this is a very most common question, like when other funds are also delivering close to around 16, 18, 20% kind of a return, then why one should look for an MNC? As I've told, like MNC stands very well in terms of risk adjusted return. So returns are the same, but when it comes to the risk, the volatility factor is much lower. We have just calculated the beta of this particular portfolio with respect to the Nifty. Our MNC PMS beta is just 0.75. You can imagine with such a lower volatility, we have been able to deliver similar kind of a performance. So it's always like a question, like when you know equity is giving you 15-18% return, but still people put money into FD because they want some safety. So same way within equity investment also, how you are investing into large cap, mid cap and small cap. I can say this is also a form of a large cap oriented portfolio. Looking at the global definition, the global definition says that all the companies are large cap, but and still they are able to deliver very good return in comparison to the Nifty. We have been able to outperform also Nifty, and the volatility factor is also much lower. So this is one advantage that you are getting when we come to this MNC as a theme.
Okay. Okay. So the second question is like one of the key sector, banking and financial, have good weightage in Nifty, but not there in MNC. Why?
Right. So as you have rightly seen, the banking and financials are not part of this MNC portfolio. It is again as per the definition also that in banking and in MNC portfolio, we need a foreign promoter. Most of the good banking and financial companies, be it Bajaj Twins, be it HDFC Twins, be it ICICI, Axis Bank, SBI, everything is Indian. So as far as the definition goes, definitely banking and financial is not a key sector, or it's not there in our MNC portfolio. But let me share you, in spite of not having banking and finance, even in MNC index has been able to give better return than Nifty over the longer term period. And same is the case even for our PMS also. In the last 3 years, we have been able to beat the MNC index as well as Nifty index in spite of not having banking as a part of our portfolio. Now, the banking is the most I can say the volatile sector in coming last 1.5-2 years. That is the one of the most sector which is most volatile, and it is also one of the key segment that if yes market has to perform, then banking will also start contributing. And you might feel, okay, if banking is not there and if banking is contributing, the my portfolio MNC would be lagging, but that is not the case. If economy has to perform, if banking has to perform, there are many economy led sectors. These are consumer durables, these are capital goods, engineering, infrastructure sectors. Many such sectors are there which are part of our portfolio, which is contributing, or I can say which is complementing of not having banking in our portfolio, but still we are able to deliver equally good return like a overall economy is growing on the upside.
Okay. Mid and small cap has already outperformed the market in last 1.5 years. Do you still think one can go for an aggressive portfolio?
Right. So definitely last 1.5 year has been very strong for the mid caps and small caps. Many mid cap and small cap oriented PMSs or mutual funds have delivered very good return. But if you look at the market setup from 2018, from 2018, 19, 20, almost 3.5 years, markets were going for a consolidation where mid caps and small cap participation was very low. It was only the Nifty which was hanging around, and during COVID time, everything corrected and mid cap and small cap corrected in a larger manner. And that was also being proven by the data points that our GDP was also contracting. It was reducing. I can say the growth rate in the GDP was reducing from 2018 onwards, and during COVID time, it went into negative trajectory. So definitely, we have seen a strong pullback in last 1.5 year, where mid caps and small cap has catched up very well. But when we look at from a 4 to 5 year perspective and look at the CAGR this mid cap and small cap index has given, it is equally like Nifty or even less than Nifty. So now, after a strong pullback, which is a normal, I can say behavior of the market after a big consolidation correction, pullback is the way the market sees, the market tries to justify the growth which is there. After a pullback, there is a bull rally. So we are just going through a consolidation phase at this point of time. Once we are again out with this one consolidation, we might see the next leg of clear-cut bull rally, which is very well supported by fundamentals. So we are seeing definitely mid cap and small cap do have a decent growth going to almost next 2 to 3 years would be definitely mid cap and small cap could be clear cut winners in this coming years.
The next question is, what are the exit strategy from the stocks you have?
Right. So many a time as an investor, most of the time we are very much, I can say, connected with the stock. We most of the time people marry to the stock and they just like to ride on that particular stock, and that is a good part. Being into equity market, you definitely need to have a strong conviction on the stocks that you are holding, and you just stay with that conviction, and that stock rewards you phenomenally, and that we have seen in the past of last 20-25 years. However, in order to further optimize the performance, it definitely makes a case to have some kind of an exit strategy if you want to further optimize and keep on generating alpha. So one of the strategies like we normally look at is definitely the valuation. If valuations have gone beyond our control, we definitely take an exit call. This is what we have done in one of the stock that is called as GMM Folder in our MNC as well as in Impress portfolio. At 4400, we have exited all the stocks that we were holding. We have bought it at around 1100 to 1200 zone and we have ridden that. It went up to 77,000 plus also. But we didn't regret because at price that we have sold, it was more than 100 kind of a price to earning, which was not justified for a B2B kind of a business model. So valuation definitely gives us a call that yes, whether we need to exit from this particular stock or not. Second exit strategy is definitely if things are not going right for that particular company or sector. I can again give you an example from our MNC PMS only. When we started the portfolio, we were little heavy in auto. We were having companies like Maruti, Webco, Schaeffler India, and SKF Bearing. Two were direct exposure to auto and two were indirect exposure. But after 4 to 5 months down the line, we realized that yes, these sectors are not performing. It might take maybe almost 1.5 to 2 years plus in order to recover. It's better to move out from those particular company at this point of time. We reduced the allocation of Maruti, we sold out Webco, and between SKF and Schaeffler, we moved out from Schaeffler. So this was a call purely based on a strategic allocation perspective. The sectors were not moving and we want to cut our losers and ride with the winners. And the third exit is the partial profit booking. Like at any time, if the stock weightage goes up to 9 or 10%, then yes, we will bring down the allocation to 6-7%. So these are the three ways we normally go for an exit.
Okay, sir. Okay. There was one question. For the Decennium portfolio, what is the expected CAGR return?
The Decennium?
Yes, sir.
Right. So most of the stocks that we have selected in the Decennium portfolio at this point of time, they are anywhere ranging, the EPS growth is anywhere ranging between 20% to 50%. If I take the average, the weighted average also, the earnings growth momentum is close to around 30% plus. So definitely if the earnings are likely to grow at the rate of 30% plus going forward, and it's not that the share price also will move in tandem. Sometimes in some period share price would be, I can say, underperforming, but over the longer run it will definitely catch up with the underlying earnings growth. That is the what we call it the sentiment. If the sentiments are positive in the market, the sentiments are good and people are over optimistic, even with a 30% CAGR growth, the stock will move by 40-50% also. When sentiments are negative, even if the companies are growing, sometimes the stock's price would not be moving in tandem. So this is for a short run period. But when we are looking from a 3 to 5 years kind of a perspective, definitely we have set a target of 25-30% plus kind of a CAGR is possible from this kind of an aggressive portfolio. Yes, it do comes with a small amount of risk. If the expected earnings growth doesn't come as per our expectation, then there could be some degradation or the downgrade that would be happening in those companies.
Okay, sir. So there was one common question in panel, like, can you just brief about all the products, minimum ticket size, and like is there STP, SIP options is available? So those, can you show some light on that?
Right. So the minimum ticket size, as most of you must be already aware, who is associated with PMS Bazaar. So PMS 50 lakhs is the minimum investment when you have to come for any investment product in PMS. However, we have given an option to our investor also. This 50 lakhs can be divided into multiple portfolios. You can select your allocation 25 in one and 25 in another, or 20-20-10, or whatever allocation you think is feasible, something into conservative, something into aggressive. That kind of flexibility is also we are providing to our client. Coming to the SIP and STP kind of a mode, so definitely when you have to start the PMS, 50 lakhs has to come to us. Post that, definitely you can keep on adding a decent amount of money, whichever you think. But yes, if you think this money has to deploy in a staggered manner, yes, we are giving that kind of an option. You invest 50 lakhs with us. We will, you depending upon your comfort level, whether you want to stagger in 5 installment or 10 installment, we would be placing our investment accordingly, and the balance money would be kept into liquid funds.
The next question is, are you also going to invest in startup and recently listed new age businesses?
So definitely when I'm looking at the disruptive kind of a technology or a new age kind of a business, so somewhere down the line, all these startups which are getting listed, because in PMS, you must be aware, in a discretionary PMS, we can only go for a listed companies. So till the time the company don't get listed, we just keep it on radar. But once the company gets listed, then we start the evaluation process, whether this particular company forms a part of our portfolio or not. Definitely, most of the startup and the new age businesses and the new IPOs which are coming in, definitely they would definitely have to come in our universe that we are looking at. But we are very clear in terms of selection of the stock. What we are focusing on, yes, these companies need to have a decent cash flow. Operating profit has to be there. Margin has to be in a reasonable manner, and the growth expectation also has to be there. There are many companies right now which are listed but still under going through challenges. Their profitability is not there, the cash flow generation is not there, they are burning cash at this particular point of time. But somewhere down the line, when we come to a point of inflection where we see, yes, things are now getting turned around, they will definitely come and form a part of our portfolio if the growth momentum is still strong going forward. Right now, what we are focusing on, companies which is already there in existence, but these companies have started venturing into the disruptive technology. Just to give you an example, let's say Reliance. Reliance has already, or I can say, diversified its business in such a manner that right now 50% of the revenue is coming from retail, the geo fiber which is there, and now is also venturing into this clean and green energy. So now the oil to chemical kind of a business is only 50%, and maybe 4 years down the line, you might see the oil to chemical business would be just around 35%, and 65-70% would be coming from other business. So there are many such existing old companies which are adapting to the changing environment, and they are venturing into these kind of new disruptive business model or a new age kind of a business which are already having decent profitability, where we would be focusing on.
Okay, there was one question, like what is your downfall protection of the your portfolio in the events like COVID like last year, and followed by that, if you will suggest your clients to top up or you will ask them to sit back.
Right. So definitely corrections are always a good opportunity. It is the belief that you need to have in the Indian economy. India being an emerging economy, there are lot of opportunities available. If you play your cards very well, then definitely you can make wonders for your investment. So any corrections, definitely, be it COVID or be it for any other reason, all corrections are to be taken as an opportunity, and definitely we ask for the top up during the time of correction. Now, coming on the preservation side, the protection side, the first question that you talk about, in the event when markets are going down, then how do you try to protect? So definitely most fund managers are more stock specific. They are more focused on the stocks, and they think these stocks are very having a strong conviction. So they normally don't budge or move around from those particular stocks. So the things that we have seen during last time in COVID, what we did a tactical shift in our portfolio strategy. From little aggressive strategy, we went into a defensive strategy. We increased our allocation into FMCG, pharma, IT companies, where we thought the disruption would be very less, the decline would be very less, and we moved out from industrial, cap goods, engineering, infrastructure oriented companies, both for both the portfolio. That was for MNC as well as Impress portfolio. That really helped us to, I can say, arrest the downside in the portfolio during COVID time. As I have already told, during COVID time, our MNC PMS was just down by around 14%. Our Impress portfolio, which was tilted towards mid cap and small cap, in the month of March 2020, it was down by only 24%, in line with the Nifty. Mid cap and small caps were down by 30 and 40% plus. So that is where we have tried to arrest the downside to a certain extent. And same way, when market starts to recover, we now start increasing our allocation into cap goods, engineering, and infra to play the recovery and reduce the allocation of the defensive. So that is the maximum that we try to do in order to arrest the downside. And many a times, whenever the correction comes, most of the time the correction comes with an unknown event. And that is where most fund manager would not be having any clue what is going to happen. So this is what maximum we try to do. In case the event is very big, which is very much known to us, and we need to go for any kind of protection, we might take some kind of a cash call, maybe by coming out of 20 or 30%, but not much. Hardly we have done any kind of cash call kind of a thing in the last 3.5 years.
So there is one question. So like IT, pharma, new technology shares are not included in your PMS indicator. Don't you think it's very important from the point of rupee getting weakening? And IT and pharma can be positive in such scenarios.
Right. So IT is definitely a part of our all the three portfolios, be it MNC, Impress, and Decinium. But yes, the allocation right now is close to around 10%. For a Decinium, yes, which is a completely disruptive kind of a thing, the IT allocation at this point of time is close to around 15%. And IT is definitely one of the sector that we believe which is going to be there for a very long period. But we are more focusing on the mid caps and small cap oriented IT company rather than the large cap companies like TCS, Infosys, or HCL Tech, because we believe these mid cap and small caps still have a lot of potential. However, right now valuation is little concern, and that's why we are going slow. But we have made very good money in IT. Same way goes for the pharma and API kind of a business model also. There also we have made a lot of money. Right now things are looking much lucrative from an aggressive point. So that's why we have reduced the allocation of the pharma. However, we have one company from a healthcare perspective, which was again came out recently, that is Krishna Institute of Medical Science, from a hospital chain, and which is also growing organically as well as inorganically and giving us tremendous growth visibility going forward. Almost 50% of the beds are now going to get added in the period of next 2 years. So a lot of visibility is there in this affordable hospital chain like Krishna Institute of Medical. So we are playing these sectors in a different way. It's like having a proxy play. Maybe in real estate also there are developers are there, but rather than participating in developers, there are many other proxy play companies are there, like ceramic companies are there, paint companies are there, or some metal product oriented companies are there, where we think, okay, things can improve and things can grow in a much faster manner, aided by the underlying core sector.
Okay. There is one question, sir. Seems the bear market started as benchmark has overperformed in last 1 year. Also, global cues lining up, and we are all close to general elections and in 1.5 year time frame. Plus, the February the tax budget is going to come. What is your opinion on that, sir?
Right. So when it comes to budget, I think government is already running monthly budget after this COVID time. So whatever I can say the changes and whatever I can say the allocations and the incentives and the relaxation what government was giving till now, it is more like a budget that they were running. And looking at the election which is now going to catch up, the state election also which are going to be there in UP. So maybe government might be little on the back foot of having more like a populist kind of a budget rather than doing too much of changes like they have done in the past. The government has already done up the cleaning up exercise by bringing in this demonetization, the GST and the RERA. So a lot of things have now streamlined. Now the focus of the government is clearly on the job creation and infrastructure building. So that is where the focus would be there. So more like a populist kind of a budget, not making too much of changes. One good part is also there, the collection, the tax collection, that is be it direct tax as well as indirect tax collection has been really on the good side, I can say, which is very I can say at the time of need, it has really helped the government to minimize the deficit. So that is also going very well at this point of time. So coming to now, whether the election is going to have an impact on the market, yes, it may be in a short run. We have seen many elections, and India being a democratic company with more than 30 states where elections are happening in a 5-year period. So definitely these elections might create some short-term knee-jerk reaction, but they are never meant for a changing a longer-term strategy. Whoever if a government comes, maybe let's say the Lok Sabha election is also there, which would be there after 3 years, but the whoever government comes, they might be having some fancy for some sectors, but everyone is looking for developing the economy, growing the economy. So that is where we are also focusing on India being a country where entrepreneurs are running the show. People know how to do the business. They have enough experience on the table, and irrespective of any government, they will still manage to showcase a decent growth.
Okay. The next question is the real estate and building material is not spoken in your PMS presentation. Don't you see this is an upcoming opportunity?
Right. So as I've already told, like we are participating through indirect exposure to this reality space. Just to name a few, very recently, definitely around just 2-3 months back, we have added even overall reality as a developer. But prior to that, we were playing through this ceramic companies like Somani Ceramic is there or Kajaria Ceramic is there. Even in a recent our new portfolio also, let me give you some highlight of the two companies which are showing lot of growth opportunity. It's like a business upcycle that we are seeing. The companies like Green Panel into this MDF, and the companies one is the small cap company Acrisyn, which is into quartz kitchen, which are part of our portfolio. So definitely we are seeing this reality space as a sector which is going in the business upcycle. We are participating through direct developers as well as some ancillary companies.
So there is one more question, sir. It's like hotel entertainment OTT platform. How do you see the opportunity post COVID pandemic? It may be an emerging opportunity.
Right. So this is one of the segment or the sector which might take little longer time to recover. This entire hotel tourism, because there is still the COVID fear is still there in the mind. Very recently, Omicron, everyone is not was talking about, but still it is not that kind of a, I can say, a virus which can impact the global economy or the growth momentum. However, it has restricted the movement of the people. So this localized kind of a lockdown that we are seeing in different parts of the countries, and people are still fearing to move from one country to another country. So these are the segments like tourism and hotels might take little longer time to recover, but yes, these are good contra opportunity at this point of time. If you time it really well, if you have patience in these kind of companies, because these are little asset heavy kind of an industry, so we have to be little very careful. If you have to time the bottom also correctly, and you have to time the exit also correctly, because these are not the sectors that we are willing to stay invested for next 10 years kind of a story.
Okay. Okay. So there is one more question that can NRI invest in your PMS, sir?
Definitely. So NRIs can definitely participate in our PMS, and there is a different mechanism. They need to have a normal trading and demat account through this PIS reporting, and definitely they can participate in our PMS. So we can help whosoever wants to get into this PMS for the NRI clients, and definitely we can aid them.
Okay. Okay. Due to the time constraint, we'll take one last question, sir. If the client is wanted to have moderate kind of risk and returns, which strategy will you suggest?
Okay, so MNC PMS is the, I can say, the flagship, the product which is a flagship product from MNC Group. From a moderate risk reward kind of a perspective, you can invest any given point of time. Even at this juncture, also where people are getting little scary about the market valuation and everything. But this is one portfolio definitely which is not going to disappoint you. Slow and steady. If you're not being too greedy of having 25, 30, 40% kind of a CAGR, you're happy with this 15-20% plus kind of a CAGR, then I would suggest yes, start with MNC as an investment. You will never regret of having these kind of companies as a part of portfolio. Half of the portfolio is kind of a legacy kind of a company. You can add some amount of flavor of aggressive. Like I have already told you, you can club your investment. You can club two strategy also. So you can start with maybe 35 into MNC and 50 into our aggressive, and slowly start building around the both the strategies.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mysore, for your wonderful insights about your product and details. Thank you, participants. Due to the time constraint, we couldn't able to take more questions. But from PMS Bazaar side and from Anand Rathi side, we promise you that we will answer all your questions within a week point of time. We will get answer from Mr. Mayusha himself, and we will mail you the details. Thank you. Thank you for the participating in the event.